And we are back with 4 student activists, so-called student activists. I discovered when I got to Cairo that most of the people who are called student activists are actually not students. One of them explained to me, Walid, that when they started these pro-democracy marches 5 or 7 years ago, they were students, which is why they're called students. Walid Rashid, Sarah Abdul Rahman, Noor, and Rajia Omran. Noor, let me ask you something. Before we get to President Obama, your father ran for president against Hosni Mubarak and was arrested, beaten up. Does he regard what you have managed to do as a success? When I say you, I mean your generation.
I think everyone in Egypt, not just my father, but everyone in Egypt, especially the older generations, for a period of time, they just looked at the younger generations with admiration. And this is something that the younger generations are not used to in Egypt. We were not used to older generations just thanking us for our efforts and feeling like we did something. So obviously my father was one of the people who were extremely proud of our generation. And he was also, him as well as many people from the older generations also joined in the revolution in itself.
All right, now, as always within America, enough about you. Now, what do you think of us? So, Sarah, what did you think of President Obama's speech?
The U.S. foreign policy, I believe, is completely inconsistent when it comes to the region. Also, they decided very last minute to support the people of Egypt during our revolution. You know, Hillary Clinton would say one thing and President Obama would say the other every other day. They did not really decide on what they want to do.
Do you think that's the general feeling, that the United States was too late in supporting the Egyptian revolution?
Yes, especially when, you know, we get hit with tear gas and then we pick it up after, you know, the tear gas is completely taken over our bodies, and we see the mark Made in USA. So that did not really send the message that I think President Obama is always talking about American values.
I thought President Obama was trying to do was to present the broad picture and say, look, in general, we support all these movements. Of course, there are going to be differences. Of course, there are going to be specific policies. But he was trying to say the United States is broadly in support of democratic reform everywhere. Did that not ring true for you?
To tell you the truth, I was not impressed, and I didn't expect to be impressed. Like I was not impressed when he came to Cairo and gave the speech.
What would impress you? What should you say?
I would like to have a consistent U.S. policy that is fair and broad across the Middle East. If we're talking
what
about,
does that mean?
It's the American policy towards the Arab countries and Israel to be the same. If you analyzed what he said about Israel and what he said about the other countries, completely inconsistent.
Noor, what did you think?
I, like Rajia, was not impressed and was not expecting to be impressed, simply because Obama's very good with words. If anything, the U.S. Foreign Office is very good with words and horrible with actions. All I could see was hypocrisy and the continuation of hypocrisy.
Is the hypocrisy all about Israel-Palestine, or is it about the issues relating to... Would you like him to take a stronger stand on Syria, for example?
Okay. I would like him to take a stronger stand on any case of any atrocities that occur in the region, whether or not by an Arab country or whether or not by Israel. Stances must be taken. However, the problem is when I come to see the United States and their foreign policy, this is the same regime that supported Mubarak for the last 30 years. This is the same regime that up till this day has not spoken one word about Saudi Arabia, simply because they're worried about whether or not gas prices are going to go up tomorrow.
Yeah, you guys are being very hard on Obama. What would you say?
You know that I didn't discuss it with Noor, but really I have the same comment that to be honest with you, Obama he's a very good in speeches and in body language and like that, fine. I like it so much. But you can't keep promising me every day. If you would like to speak about us, you must speak about us from our position, from our view.
I just wanted to add something to what you just said right now about understanding the Arab mentality. I think that our revolution, I don't like the term Arab Spring because it's not a season. It's our demands, it's our rights. I think that a lesson that we can all learn is that the Obama administration had the wrong idea about, I think they were fooled by the Mubarak regime into thinking that Egyptians want Mubarak, and if Mubarak leaves, then it's going to be the Muslim Brotherhood, and that was the choice that Mubarak was leaving Obama. Here in Egypt, we separate between the American government and the American foreign policy that we're speaking of now, and the American people. And I think that you have probably witnessed that out on the streets. If you say that you're American, you're going to be welcomed, and there's hospitality. But I think that the Obama administration doesn't really make that difference, and didn't make that difference between the Egyptian government and the statistics that they take from the Egyptian government and the Egyptian people.
Thank you all very much for a wonderful conversation, and we will be back.